Okay. Um, First of all, where's Kelly? I brought Jason as a speaker, but he's also a guest, so I get to go into the drawing. Okay. Don't want to lose anything like that. Okay. I saw Jason Scott speak a couple weeks ago, and he was more speaking along, my realtor path, but he has AI down. He is his background is over 25 years of expertise in the title and escrow industry, specializing in innovative real estate technology, software, and anything else that helps us. Also, he has mastered creative geographic farming and marketing strategies using public record data and advanced technology tools. These are the kind of tools that can be used for any business. It's just not just the real estate industry. He's a passionate educator and leader. He's served in key roles with associations, mortgage boards in California and Oregon. He's been married for 27 years. He has 3 kids, and he have 1.5 grandchild. One is on the way. So he is going to talk to us about AI. Artificial intelligence is increasing its abilities at an amazing rate. What are a few things you should know about how this might affect your business in the future? And a quick demo of Chat GPT's most recent version is included in this talk. So please join me in giving him a great Rotary welcome, Jason Scott, Technology Education. Don't stop.
Got to raise this up just a little bit. All right, Claudette. All right, so we got it up. Beautiful. Hey, thank you so much, everybody, for I appreciate the invite. I love talking about this stuff. It's really important, especially nowadays. AI is changing every single day, right? So how many of you are using AI in your business? Good, good, good. Okay, keep your hand up. Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up. Is it Chat GPT you're using? If it is, keep your hand up. All right. So those of you that are using Chat GPT, are you beginners or are you, keep your hand up if you're more on the advanced side? I don't know who to pick on. Beautiful. Good. Okay, I got a couple. Thank you very much. Perfect. All right, so that's awesome. So real quick, I've been all over the place, married for a long time. We do have I would say 1.98 grandchildren because our second one is due literally like any day. So, but a little bit about super quick about me. I was actually born in a mudstorm in Chicago, south of Chicago, and was one of those kids that happened to survive the terrifying, death-defying super slip and slides and the lawn darts. My dad was actually in the Air Force. We grew up south of Spain, started to learn a little bit of Spanish, and lived in an apartment complex. My dad was a pilot, eventually got out of the Air Force. But unfortunately, I found out my middle name is Cejas, which is Clarence, Edward, James, Andrew, Stephen. But until anybody speaks Spanish, you know what that word is in Spanish that we didn't know that at the time? It's eyebrows. So a little unfortunate fun fact, I guess. Ended up finally graduating from high school, went to Cal Poly Pomona in Southern California, married the love of my life in 1998, and eventually joined the Ticor Title Company and the family of companies. I have 3 amazing, crazy kids. This is when we lived in Salem. We lived in Eugene for a little while. Enjoyed of course, the Oregon Ducks. Sorry if you're a Beaver fan. Got really good at doing geographic farming, and been on the radio talking about investment properties, how you can find those deals. That's one of my fortes in this market, and spoke at a couple of different venues all over the place. And that's enough about me. So that was my new business portrait. So this is our granddaughter. She's a 1.5 years old. So I am switch hitting between my readers because the other day my granddaughter grabbed the ones that I normally use and threw them on the floor, so they smashed. So I got the low end and the high end, depending on what I'm looking at. So bear with me. All right, so we're going to talk about Chat GPT, but I want to talk about a couple of things first. Here's the 30,000 foot view, okay? I know I've only got 20 minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about one of the most critical things that you can do with Chat GPT if you're using AI right now, and that's the personalization. We're going to talk about why. We're going to go through a few little examples. My wheelhouse is real estate, talking to real estate agents on how they can use Chat GPT for their business. But I do have some generic ideas for local business leaders in this area too. So I am not the biggest nerd in the room, I can tell you. I was on a panel in Grants Pass for the chamber on AI, and I was one of 3, and I was the little nerd, right? They were the big head nerds, right? But I was able to at least take the concepts that they were talking about and make it into something a little bit more understandable. So I hope that helps today. So what you're looking at is the Chat GPT screen. They did just roll out their Chat GPT 5.0 or 5, which let me give you a kind of an idea on the power of that. And also Grok. We're going to talk briefly about what Grok will do. Have you guys heard of Grok before? Yes? Okay, good. So Grok actually just had a couple weeks ago, they rolled out their newest version, which was 10x over their prior version, right? So it's amazing how fast this is progressing. And I've got a fun little demonstration for you on a new thing that they just rolled out too. But ChatGPT is the one that 80% of the folks are going to be using, right? Let's just face it. It's free to use, like most of them are, up to a certain point. You can use this artificial intelligence resource, I would say 5 to 6 times in a 24-hour period, depending on what you're asking. And it will tell you, okay, you got to wait for 24 hours until you can start using it again. If you wanted to use like the version that we're looking at here, it's $20 a month. Can you use it for your business? Well, we'll find out. Okay, we'll give you a few examples on things that you can do. So personalization, let's talk about that. When you go to use ChatGPT, tell it what you do for a living, because it will formulate its answers on what it is that you've told it that you do. So if you haven't seen that yet, make sure that in your own ChatGPT account, whether it's the free one or not, use the personalization section to tell it what you do, because it will formulate its answers based on that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So down at the bottom left, this is the Chat GPT. When I click on the menu on the side, what it does is it brings up all of your old chats that you've done, if you've done any, but it also will bring up different projects. Like in this case, virtual staging. I'll come back to that in a second. But where you want to go for the personalization is all the way at the bottom. Down here at the bottom left, you see where my pointer is? When you click on that, this is the personalization section that you want to live in when you first get into ChatGPT. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So in the personalization section, if you click on it right here, it gives you a couple of different options. One is the customized ChatGPT at the top, and the other one is the manage memories. And this is really important to do. Again, you want to tell it what you do so that it can give you the correct answers based on what you're doing. It'll make more sense in a second. But the customized ChatGPT at the top, when you click on that, you're going to tell it what you want to be called, right? It says, what should ChatGPT call you? Jason, what do you do? You tell it real estate or whatever you do, title insurance. What personality should ChatGPT have? So on the far right on mine, if you can see it, it's my love language, nerd, okay? So put in there whatever you want to have it talk to you in a certain way, right? And I'm okay with that. And, in high school, I wasn't so much, but now, you evolve. So underneath that, if you can see it down here, you can also give it additional characteristics on how you want it to talk to you, right? You want it to be chatty, witty, straight shooting, Gen Z, right? Forward thinking, et cetera. You can put in whatever you want. If you just click on these, encouraging, opinionated, let's say forward thinking, just a few things, and it formulates that way in which it will talk with you. Now, this is the important part down here at the bottom. Anything else ChatGPT should know about you? Hopefully you can see this at the bottom. This is where you want to put in what you do for a living. Okay, now I've got in some notes up here too, what I do for a living, and this is just a sample. I've got some prompts in here that I'm just going to copy and paste so you don't have to sit here and watch me type. But now this is what this is. When I paste this in, I'm telling it very specifically, I am a real estate agent in the Southern Oregon area. I'm not, but this is just an example. But I'm telling it specifically the area that I want to work in, the region, the type of property, the type of homeowner that I would like to work with. And in your case, for your business, specify who it is that you want to work with. So that ChatGPT now will formulate its answers based on that. Once you type that in there, you just hit the save button at the top right corner, and now you're ready to go. Okay, so ChatGPT is ready to go. There's one other thing in here under Manage Memories. If you click on this, what it does is it will listen to you as you talk. And if you start to use a lot of I statements, and I have an example that I probably won't use in this class, but if we had a dog that was having some digestive issues, so I was looking for ChatGPT to give us some food ideas for that. Turned out that ChatGPT put that particular bit of information in as a memory, right? Has a dog with digestive issues. So check this periodically to make sure that it's keeping information on you that you actually want it to keep. Okay. But in here, in this one, if you can't see it, prefers responses that incorporate a Gen X tone when requested using casual language like rad and awesome. They appreciate a conversational style with a bit of retro flair. And the classes that I generally teach, I'll start off with some disco music because I'm trying to revive that too, just for the heck of it. So, all right, enough of that. So once you get into those settings and you make those personalization settings, right? You tell it what the kind of person you are, you check it, see what it's finding out about you. Now you're ready to go. So once ChatGPT comes up, it's giving you some suggestions down here at the bottom, but you can also ask it anything down here. So let me go back to that menu at the top left. So up here, let me just give you a quick orientation to this. ChatGPT is where we're starting right now, right? And this is ChatGPT. There are other ones also, right? The library is our images that it's made for you in the past. In this case, I've got several in here that I've had it make, and some I'll delete, some I'll keep in there based on what it is that I'm trying to do. The GPTs here, when you get a little bit more advanced in this, you can connect your ChatGPT to Canva, right? Canva or something like that. If you like to create your own flyers or have somebody on your staff create your flyers, ChatGPT can link to a program like Canva through these GPTs where you'll be able to have those flyers created real easily. So it can make images based on whatever it is that you ask it to do. It's gotten a lot better at that. And then, of course, you've got projects down here at the bottom. And in the course of, in real estate, for example, virtual staging, I'll give you a quick example here. This is just one that I did as an example. If you have a blank room and you need it staged, right? Or if you need to, if it's restaurant equipment you want to put in there, whatever you want it to look like, you give it an original image like this one here, if you can see it, right? Nothing in the room. And you tell it with this particular prompt how to stage it. So this is what it looks like after it's done. And what's interesting about this too is that if you look out the window, what's outside the window doesn't change. It just changes the inside. It's very intuitive with that, which is very interesting. But these are called projects. And these projects, when you click on these, when you create a new project, in this case, it's virtual staging, you have to give it some very specific instructions on what you want it to do, right? Like it's a very lengthy instruction that I've given it. And also you have to give it some project file examples. Now, these are images of certain types of furniture in this case that I like so that I can have it staged with that style of furniture. So you can apply this to your business too, right? Depending on what you want to do. But this project work is getting better because now we have agentic AI, which is AI that you just tell it, you give it specific instructions and it will run with those instructions even when you're not even asking to do it. Right now, I have it set up where I'll have it go online every morning, search statistics for me, and then come right back and email me a report right at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it will run those for you and it's up to date. So imagine that. So, and they're getting a lot better, right? So in terms of images, let me show you this real quick. This was just for fun. Okay, so this is me. I don't remember. I think I was 9 years old, of course, doing jazz hands. You can take an image and you can load it and it will make it move. And this is an image. This came from a photograph, right? So that's how extensive this could get, right? And it's a little, I know it's embarrassing, but it's a, so let's talk about privacy for a second. In light of that, is it okay to upload images of yourself? And I will tell you, personally, there's something also, and you guys in the room that are all more advanced in this, I'm sure, than I am, you've heard of what the singularity is, right? And we're getting to the point where AI will be self-aware. Now, that, along with quantum computing that can compute these algorithms in minutes versus years, we've got something that's coming up that's going to be a little on the frightening side, in my opinion. Can it be used for evil? Of course. You can use it for good, right? At least for now, for your business. But make sure you say please and thank you, right? Because they're going to, all right, they're going to know who to take and who not to take when Skynet comes. Little trick. All right. So so that's what this is we're looking at on the left side here. In terms of privacy, I will tell you there's different sides of the coin. I'm okay with putting information on there. I've been doing it for a long time. My daughter, for example, this picture here, she wants no pictures of her online at all because she doesn't want that to be used at any point in the future. And I don't blame her. Also, so a lot of people don't even realize I have a granddaughter. right? Because nothing's online about her. So I totally respect that. Now, of course, I think it is because this is being streamed and put somewhere else, right? So we just won't tell her that part. All right. All right. So back to the menu up here at the top left. So you've got GPTs that you can have integrate with existing programs. You've got these chats that you've created. Let's do a couple of example chats so that you can see how this will work. But keep in mind, one of the things that you can do, let's go back up here to Chat GPT. And I want to go down here. You can add files to this. If I click that plus sign right there, you can upload files, data, right? I wouldn't put personal information, social security numbers, credit card. Don't put anything like that in there. But what you can do is, in my case, like for real estate, we'll take public record information, right? Square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, locations, things like that. And then have it analyze that data for outliers, right? For anything that's interesting. Now, for your business, you can upload data sets also. But make sure that you know that you can do that. You upload an image sample and tell it to create a similar image that's not going to be copyrighted so that you can use it in your own marketing too. So let's talk about a couple of prompts real quick here. Super quick. Traffic patterns. Anybody concerned about traffic patterns around their business? This particular prompt, if you paste this in, can you run a traffic count report for with 2025 data? That is for the intersection of East McAndrews and Biddle Road in Medford, Oregon. So what's interesting is ChatGPT-5 will take this information and it will run that for you. Now, it's not in this case, not yet. It's not going out and giving you data, raw data, and a graph and all that stuff, but it's pointing you in exactly the right place that you can go to grab that information yourself. And what it's doing, if you can see it, sorry, I can't zoom in on it, is it's giving me a lot of information. And what it's also doing is, and you can kind of see it on these right here, it's giving me links directly to the data that it's finding, right? In this case, Jackson County OR.gov, right? For example. So you can go to any of these spots and it shows you where that data is and where it resides so that you can then use it. And it will ask you also, if you'd like, I can walk you through how to explore the ArcGIS site or craft an email to the Rose department, blah, 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 right? So that it will show you that. And by the way, if you're new into this, the prompts are really important. How it's going to be garbage in, garbage out, right? If you ask it something and you're not really getting what you want, take it a step further and ask ChatGPT how to ask it. How do I ask you for this particular type of prompt? This is what I'm looking for. And it will actually tell you too. So it's pretty cool. All right. Another prompt real quick. Role play. If you know that you can do this, if you have any salespeople on your team, for example, or for you yourself, let's just say I own a jewelry store in the Rogue Valley. This is just a test, right? Copying this in here too. I'm going to start a new chat away from this particular traffic count reference because I don't want it to cross over the two. So I click on that Chat GPT at the top left to create a new chat. Now I'm pasting in here, right here, that same thing. I'm a jeweler in the Rogue Valley area. Can you role play with me? I'm the business owner and you're posing as a hard to convince buyer of a 1-carat diamond engagement ring. Walk me through potential objections and coach me on overcoming them. So in this case, I'm not connected. The voice part's not going to come over, but on your mobile device, Android and iPhone, you can talk with it and it will role play with you and give you those objections. Now, in this case, since I can't use the voice part, it's partially because we're on Zoom. If I send this particular prompt in, it will now give me scenarios in this particular case that I've given it and show me how to overcome those objections. Right? Like the first one. The buyer says, I really like this ring, but honestly, a 1-carat diamond seems kind of pricey. I saw something online for way cheaper. So it gives you the rebuttal to that. So it's a very handy tool to help you go through things like this and also even to memorize certain things, right? Like your value proposition. If you have a value proposition, you want to get it a little bit more condensed, it's a great way to do that. So the voice portion of this, as you can see it down here, it looks like the 4 lines. If you click on that, it will begin to talk with you. Now, this isn't going to work over the Zoom, but in this case, while I'm talking to ChatGPT, now it will talk back to me. And there's different voices that you can pick too for fun. But what it will do is it will do that role play with you. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this. And let's do one more prompt here. Oh, maybe 2. Okay, so super quick. This is 5 new catchy taco truck names. I own a food truck that visits various sites in the Rogue Valley area. There we go. I'm going to paste this in here. And can you please offer 10 different creative names for my taco truck that are no more than 2 or 3 words each? My specialty is spicy Mexican foods with a focus on tacos. When I click on that, it's going to give me a bunch of different ideas here, right? So what it's doing, apparently nothing. Looks like it's still working. All right, lava tacos, chili comet, taco inferno. These all sound terrible, but depending on right. So, but now let's take taco inferno. That's the third one down. Now what I want to do is give it a second prompt. Can you please create a 30-second video script for social media that I can use to promote? There we go. I'm going to paste that prompt in here, and I'm going to call it. Let's take taco truck name. Taco truck name. And we're going to take that out. I should have put do not disturb on my iPad here, and we're going to put in taco inferno. All right, Taco Inferno. When I hit that, now it's going to create a social media post that includes bullet points, emojis, and the appropriate hashtags, in addition to a 30-second video that I can read on my phone for social media promoting my taco truck, right? It gives you even the opening shot, flames flickering across the screen, right? All the different things that you can put in there, okay? And then also the social media post, including the emojis and the appropriate hashtags at the end of that too. It's doing the work for you. Of course, you want to double check it, make sure it's accurate for your own business, right? But this is the kind of work that it can do for you. One last thing. I think I'm up. Where'd Bob go? Oh, how am I doing on time? Or George? George. Beautiful. All right, so let's try this one here. Please find and reference 10 individual inspirational and uplifting quotes that are 25 words or less. Okay, so this is kind of generic, but it will show you what this can do. I'm going to start a new chat again. I don't want it in line with the taco truck, right? the taco inferno. Thank you for getting my joke. I appreciate it. I'm going to put that in here, paste it in. So 10 individual inspirational and uplifting quotes with 25 words or less. Indicate the source of the quote if it's known and provide a link to the source. The links are important. Sometimes you got to ask it for the link to wherever it is online that it found that quote, right? Format the quote as a square image with a neutral yet colorful background. The quote should be in bold with the named source of the quote in smaller print. The entire body of the quote and source should be on the square. And feel free to use emojis in the quote if it enhances the post's look and feel. So here's what it's going to give me. It's searching the web for quotes that are relatively short, right? You can't have a huge wordy quote if you're just putting something on social media. And you can have this. Let's find quotes specific to tacos, right? And it's going to find those or even make up a limerick for you, right? Limericks and Mexican tacos don't seem like they go together, but you never know, right? So here's 10 quotes, each one with its own link to the source. So now let's take this to its last level, right? So don't lose your present to your past. Once you choose hope, anything is possible. Let's take it one last level. Please create an image for each quote you indicated and include at least one quote appropriate emoji in each image you create. So let me copy that. Unless I got a misspelling on that. So here we go. I'm going to paste that in here. So it's going to start creating images. And then of course, this is going to be based on your internet speed. So it's going to come up with 10 individual images that are going to be square with neutral colors in the background with that quote overlaid. All you got to do is save that image and then put it into your social media or wherever you want to use. Just an example, right? You could tell it to make a certain kind of image too, right? A ranch style home that would be indicative of something in the Rogue Valley, Oregon, with a wraparound porch and conifers in the background. Again, be specific with the type of image that you're looking for. And the nice thing is that they're royalty free, right? A lot of us are guilty of going, especially in the past, going online and seeing a picture that they, on somebody else's website saying, "Oh, I like that," and pasting it, putting it into their own website or their own social media feed for their business. And you can get a ding for that, right? By copyright. These are copyright free. So it's nice that it's been able to make those changes now. All right, so that's good stuff, right? Yeah. So, we'll let that run while it's going.
Questions or so, and then we'll have to cut it short.
Oh, and also, hold on a second, too. You guys in the audience that are advanced with this, feel free to chime in, too. I'm not the smartest guy in the room here. I know that. So please let me know if you have any add-in. Okay, go ahead.
This is not going to be the smartest question that you're asked, but how do I, as somebody who has an aversion to the whole thing, get comfortable with AI? That's one question. How do, with the fear that we have and should have? And secondly, if I do choose to adopt this, why Chat GPT and what does that stand for? Or versus another one?
Good question. So personally, if just to answer the answer your question, I personally probably wouldn't have any social media or AI if I didn't have to for my business. So I hope that makes you feel a little better. I can talk on this. I know how to do it, but really, if it's something that I didn't have to do, I probably wouldn't. Right? I don't want to scare you away from it, but it is coming whether you like it or not. Right? It's coming. It's here, and it's going to get a lot more contentious, right, over time. So I hate to tell you, it is something that you should know about it, even if you're not taking a drink out of that crick, right? Good questions. Next question.
I'm just curious about the concept of plagiarism. And also I was thinking about the piece that I had on my slide and that AI produced it, and thinking about Angeli sitting over there, whom I have an amazing painting in my home, and just issues around art and what the complexities of that. If you could just talk a little bit about that.
Good question. Thank you. If you're able to make changes to an existing image, is it a copyright issue? I don't think there's any laws against it yet. It doesn't mean that there won't be, right? Because what you can do now with any art, including pictures of yourself, is, and this is something that's still coming. It's out there now. It's not as ubiquitous, I think, but you can make one video of yourself, and you can have AI replace a particular piece of information or word in that particular video, make 100 copies of that video, but each one is unique. You just recorded the video one time. But what AI will do is change the word, and it will also make your mouth move different. It's pretty interesting. So is it against the law? Not yet. But will it get there? Probably. I like, asking questions and answering myself. All right. Any other questions? Go ahead. Sorry.
I've got one more. I think there is a lot of pushback, and there is a lot of people who are frustrated. There's an aversion to people using AI, especially in creative realms and for business. With every other business owner having similar ideas and using ChatGPT to help with a lot of their tools, especially with advertising marketing, how are you prompting to make sure that your stuff stands out?
That's a good question. How do you stand out? In your own business world, you have to do something that's completely different. And I'll give you an example. I was talking with a real estate agent, because that's my wheelhouse, right? And it's an unusual listing that's up in the woods, and they weren't getting any activity on it. So I said, well, hire your son or your husband to dress up in a Bigfoot costume, and then hoof it across a video, right? And start promoting things like that, just to make yourself different. You do have to stand out to survive, right? That's just an example. Does that answer your question? That's a good question. So if you guys didn't hear him, the AI has gotten a lot better, right? It's getting really difficult to tell. Remember the Will Smith spaghetti, right? Will Smith eats spaghetti. You could tell it was AI. Now they redid that one, and Will Smith is eating spaghetti, and it looks like Will Smith, because it's gotten that much better, and it's always getting better too. So it's getting where it's almost indistinguishable. I have an AI image on my social media feed of a lady, and it's got a bunch of circles randomly in the background, and that are of things that are fine, but it says spot the AI problem. And the AI image that was created is this lady standing there in this restaurant or something like that, and her arms are crossed, but her hands are actually feet, but you don't notice it right away. And it's kind of gross, right? But it's gotten to the point where you don't even see things like that anymore. It's gotten so much better. And by the end of the year, beginning of next year is what they're saying, we're probably getting to that point where we'll have that singularity that they're talking about. So.
Okay. So, Jason, are you willing to stay and answer any other questions?
Of course, yeah.
All right, so if you have any other questions, come on up. Let's go ahead and close this party out. One more round of applause for today's speaker, Jason Eyebrows Scott. Jason, thank you for being our speaker today. We have a children's book that we'll donate to the Smart Reading Program. This one, I like the title, Buzz Boy and Fly Guy. So Jason, if you could please sign this for us. All right, as part of our Smart Reader program, today's book, I just mentioned, if you'll please sign the inside cover, we'll get in the hands of a young reader.